Hey, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I was thinking, and you know what happens when I'm thinking, I have to come on here and share my thoughts. I wanted to come on yesterday, but I was busy. And then I went for a bike ride yesterday evening. So I didn't get a chance to do a video, but the bike ride was so worth it. It was great to be outside, get some fresh air, be around other people. It was just great for my overall mental health. But I wanted to come on and talk about the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle interview. Now, most people have seen the interview or at least have seen what was said about it. So I'm not going to go into that. I just really want to talk about one thing that I observed with the interview. But I will say this: Oprah is the GOAT. When I watched that interview, it was like she was having a conversation with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and we were just in our homes eavesdropping. That's how good she is. But there were some things that when her mouth went open, so did mine. Some shocking revelations, surprising, not so much, but it was shocking that they were sharing all of this on TV. But the one thing, well, there were actually two things. One happened on Sunday, and then one on Monday when I watched CBS in the morning and they did more of the interviews. So the first thing was when Prince Harry talked about being trapped. When he said that, I felt that in my soul. It's horrible feeling as though you're trapped. Like if you're living a life that you're not intended to live, it is miserable. It wasn't his fault that he ended up in the royal family. And in the royal family, it seems that you have to be, do, and have what it is that they want you to be, do, and have. You don't get a choice to say how you want to live your life. And that's sad. And I was thinking about a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are living lives that they're not intended to live. They're living the life they live because society says you should live this way. And because of it, they're miserable. I was guilty of that. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved animals. I loved dogs. I thought I was going to have seven at a time, from a cockapoo all the way up to a Saint Bernard. Those were the dogs I was going to have. And then all of a sudden, it went from dogs to kids. I started loving kids. So I thought I was going to be a pediatrician. And then one day, a teacher said, "Hey, you're good in math and science. You should be an engineer." Okay. And so I became an engineer. I don't regret being an engineer because it allowed me to have the life that I have. And, there's a lot of things you can do with the engineering degree. But I can tell you that working as an engineer did not feed my soul. So when he said he felt trapped, I knew exactly how he felt. Because when I got my master's degree in engineering, I could not get out of engineering. Like no one would let me do what I felt that I wanted to do. I had to go back to school to get my MBA just so I could have another way to get to where I wanted to be. But when he said those words, I feel trapped, or I felt trapped. I'm just glad that he was courageous enough to leave his life. Now, he left it sacrificing a lot. He sacrificed his family relationship. He sacrificed his finances. And that's what we have to do sometimes to live our lives to be who we're meant to be. There's some things we have to give up. Some people we may have to give up. But the other thing that bothered me with the conversation was on Monday when they were showing the parts that we didn't get to see Sunday night. And Meghan Markle talked about how the firm, the institution, had told her that they wanted her to be 50% of who she was. Can you imagine not living the life you're supposed to live, but to live half of it? That was disrespectful, rude, but that is what kills your soul. That is probably why she had the mental health challenges and the suicidal thoughts. Because when you try to put somebody in a box and expect them to stay there when they know that this whole world is available to them, when you put somebody in a cage and you're saying, this is where you have to be, you can't go anywhere else, but they know that there's so much more beyond the cage. Someone asked on Facebook, what books are you reading now? And I responded because I just finished Untethered Soul maybe last week by Michael Singer, great book. And I'm now reading Glennon Dole's Untamed. And the book is about how she's living her life untamed because society puts on pressure. And you succumb to that peer pressure from society. You do what society says you should supposed to do. You be who society says you're supposed to be. You go in debt having what society says you're supposed to have. When do you free yourself from all of that? And I'm speaking to myself too. I mean, I did free myself when I decided to leave corporate America and go after my own dream, because I knew as long as I stayed in corporate America that my soul was dying. Because I know there's so much more for me to do, so many more lives that I can touch. But when are you going to allow yourself to be free, to blossom into the person you're supposed to be, the one that you were created to be, not the one that society says you need to be? I watched that video. There were so many things in there that we could take away and put on our own lives and look and say, you know what? I got to do better. I got to do me. I remember and I may have shared this with you all before, that at one point I wanted to name my business Dare to Do You, because I think it's an act of courage to be your authentic self. Now, people didn't like the name, hence why it never went anywhere, because they were like, Dare to Do You, boo. And that's not really how I intended it. But it really was about being brave, being bold, being courageous to step into the shoes that was designed for you, not concerning yourself with what other people think. Think about that. What can you do to be more of who you're supposed to be? To get rid of the constraints of judgment from others. Because we get this one life and it's yours, no one else's. So you shouldn't care what anybody else thinks. I just wanted to put that out there because that really was on my heart, because I thought when he said those words, he felt trapped. And then he said his brother and dad are still trapped. And I was like, that's a miserable life. Even though it looks glamorous from the outside, that is miserable when you can't be who you're supposed to be. All right, that is what I have for you all today. I do miss you, so I may start doing videos a little bit more. You know, it's funny because I've been toying with doing a podcast for about, I don't know, 2 years. I have all the equipment right there on my stand-up desk, and I just really haven't pulled the trigger. And I think I need to start doing these a little bit more and figure out how to incorporate what I do to make it a podcast, because I want to be able to use my stories, the stories of others, my platform, to be able to help inspire other people to live their life full out, unapologetically, authentically, without judgment, shame, and guilt. All of that, okay? But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it was on my mind and on my heart. So I hope you take whatever you need to take and do with it whatever you need to do with it. But I will just say, do you, boo. Bye.